everybody. Welcome to the Let It Fly show, brought to you by Omaha Steaks since 1917. Very proud local company providing iconic and legendary restaurants, especially here in the Omaha area, and including the soon-to-be-open Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District. We're getting closer and closer. Memorial Day 2023, joined by, I'm Michael Xavier, first of all, and joined by former Central Eagle first, and the Creighton Blue Jay, Josh Jones, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
You told me it's all about Creighton today. Huh?
Yeah, everybody who know me, though,
you're
know my
Central
love
guy.
for Central,
Yeah.
Man, it go beyond.
Mike?
You know, blue and purple make what?
Blue and purple. Brown? I have no idea what blue and purple make.
This
they go together?
Thought, bro. Hey, yeah. Like I'll be telling my my wife about my son, when he go to math class, you know, as he get older in school, don't come to me.
Don't come to you?
I lost all that knowledge, bro.
My oldest, who is 17, is a junior at Central High School.
That's what's up, man.
And I'm going to tell you, I love the school, but pickup, bruh. Pickup is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you have or drop off, it doesn't matter. They have the one lane that's coming down Douglas or Dodge. You're coming off of the interstate, coming that way down 19th. Everybody at one time trying to drop off 2,000 kids.
Yeah, it's chaos, bro.
I don't know how many every time I start yelling at people, my son's like, calm down.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, he cut me off. It's not good. It's not good at all. But if you want to have some fun in the morning, pick any school day morning and go down to where Central is, 19th and Dodge or whatever. It's a beautiful campus, but just watch the amount of traffic and yelling and screaming.
But ain't nothing perfect. Everything great got something ugly, and that parking is trash.
Well, you know, the seniors, my kid has a car.
Oh, he got that senior parking lot.
He does. He's only a junior.
Ooh.
So he's waiting until next year, and then you don't automatically get it, only like a certain number.
Hey, I say this.
Are you hook him up? Could you hook him up to parking?
I can. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you about the little the Creighton recruit secret.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was parking at what is that across the street? What is it?
The Jocelyn?
Is it Hyder? One of those dorms. I was parking
in
it. Like they knew I was coming.
I know what you're talking about in the back side. Okay.
Kennefic.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just hoping. I'm crossing my fingers.
In high school.
In high school?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, see, you were a big star.
Oh, my gosh.
You were Josh Jones. You were a big star. I mean, in rankings in terms of high school basketball stars, right?
My gosh.
There was Josh Dussler, and then there was Josh Jones.
Wait, you got to put me this much over. I beat him at West.
I remember going to see Josh play. This is back in high school.
Yeah, he was good,
when
bro.
Josh could, before the injury, Josh could hoop. And remember they had that tournament over at then Quest Center.
That's what Marcus Walker.
Yeah, and they were
grindhouse basketball.
You guys were killing Marcus Walker.
Yeah,
they were, because Marcus Walker was
the premier, one of the top players in the country.
Out of Kansas City, and he wanted to be a designer.
Yeah,
his major was basically being a designer.
You know what he does now?
And Creighton prep kids were killing him.
He actually does grindhouse basketball as a high-level skills trainer.
Does he really?
Especially great with girls. He actually, I seen one of the clips. He had the top recruit in the country for girls.
Oh, wow.
And she had the surprise guest meet Kobe Bryant. It was a moment for me because that's my guy.
Yeah, that would be
Marcus Walker. Marcus Walker,
R.I.P. to Kobe 3 years yesterday.
Yeah, since I had something on my Facebook today.
That was rough. I remember that morning coming in and doing the show.
Right.
And Damon and I doing 4 hours, man. It was, and that was, he was one of his favorite players with Kobe.
Yeah.
I was as a parent.
Yeah. When
you see a young person like that pass, that was a hard morning, boy.
Kobe Bryant passing away is one of those. I'm not even going to say, it's not an American. World history of where were you?
Oh, yeah, it's one of those. Yeah. I'm kind of like that with Prince, and there's a bunch of people that meant a lot to me, but Kobe was a huge one.
Yeah.
Just real quick about Josh. At that tournament, they brought in a team from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. It was a Southern Lab. They brought in Southern Lab. They had one of the best three-point shooters in the country.
Wow.
And he had hurt his ankle, and they didn't know he was going to play or not.
Yeah.
And he came out there, and he played for probably 8 minutes or so, and shot like he was a leading scorer in the country.
I'm understanding.
And in Catholic school in Louisiana, you start playing in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So he played 5 years.
Oh, so he like
all-time scoring leader in the country.
Wow.
And he came in, only played like 8 minutes, but shot a bunch of threes, and then went set down.
Yeah, no doubt.
I miss those tournaments,
Me
man.
too,
they were
man.
fun.
Yeah.
Bringing schools from all over the country.
Yeah, the last ones I can think of, Hunter Salas, St. Thomas. They played in Grand Island against Sunrise Academy.
Yeah.
But, we got to bring the culture back.
Yeah, I'd like to see those come back. That'd be awesome.
For sure.
Of course, this weekend, as we tape today, tomorrow will be the Pink Out game at CHI. Early. It's an early start.
I know.
Matter of fact, bars across the city are opening early.
Right.
So folks can go watch that.
11:15 tip-off.
Exactly. And it's one of those days, and we were talking before the show about how cancer affects everyone's life.
Man.
Affect your life, affect my family's life, everybody's life. And that's what this is about. This is coming there and thinking about not just the survivors, right? But the folk we've lost as well. And later in the show, we're going to talk to Theresa McDermott, Coach's wife, of course, is suffered from breast cancer 18 years ago. She's a survivor now, and a big reason why this exists. It started at Iowa State and now happening here at Creighton. So we're going to talk to her a little bit later and more about what's happening tomorrow. But it's one of those things where we all have that, where there's somebody passed, somebody we knew, and only thing you really say is cancer sucks, man.
Yeah,
it's just a horrible thing.
Yeah, for me it was my mom.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to my mom, Desiree, the late Desiree Jones. One of my favorite pictures I got of her is my senior night celebrating. But as far as cancer, she had colon cancer, and it just started off with her just having all these weird pains and just all the side effects. And eventually, once we found out, for me, it drew me closer spiritually, but also it made me. I was by my mom every step of the way until she passed. She actually held on long enough to see me get married, man.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So. I don't know. I got so many questions for Mrs. McDermott and all. It's a sensitive subject. What about you?
It is. No, I feel the same way. For us, my mother-in-law passed away from breast cancer. For 10 years, battled it, and ended up getting her brain like so many other people. My wife's best friend. The thing I always tell people, you go to the doctor and you're concerned, and the doctor tells you it'll be okay, find another doctor.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that because I remember they said, oh, you're fine. It's just a polyp or whatever. Next thing you know, it's not a polyp. It's worse than that. And so I always tell people, get a second opinion or a third opinion.
No, it's true.
If you feel something is wrong with you
100%.
when it comes to this, because cancer is devastating. And as you know, and we all know, it can be fatal in many different cases. That's why they'll have the I fight for signs will be given out.
Right.
And you can write, either a survivor or somebody that lost in your life to cancer. And there'll be a point in the game where everybody stands up and holds it. So it's a big part of the pink eye as well.
I'll tell you this as we transition. When my mom had cancer, I think the greatest thing that I found out was, or the education that I developed was, no matter where the cancer spreads, it's still the same type of cancer that it initially started as. So,
when it metastasizes,
I didn't know. I learned so much.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited for this game.
It is against number 13 of Xavier, too.
I know.
That's a big part of it as well.
But for me as a player, I just remember my moments. Like, I was kind of saucy in the pink, in the pink out game. I had the jersey and all that stuff. It was cool.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Only one man in the history of that game has looked really good in pink.
Who is that?
Gregory Echenike.
Oh,
period.
Yeah.
Them pink shoes that boy wore, they look so good.
For sure. Yeah.
Gregory looks so good in those pink shoes, man.
And you know what's crazy? After he got the big following behind that, he wore them every game.
I know. He kept wearing them, too. I had no problem with that. They look good on him. Somebody come. Real men wear pink.
Amen.
That's what the shirt says. Join us now to talk more about the Pink Out game, Infusion Brewery, and also we've got the cans, if you're watching it, of course, Let It Fly Lager, the pint cans, special pink version of them. Ryan joining us from Infusion Brewery. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming in and telling us more about this. So what is special about this can, and walk us through the styling of it and how you ended up getting like this?
I mean, essentially, we wanted to kind of take it a step further from the original can where we were just kind of paying homage or doing something for the basketball team.
Right.
This is something much deeper. It reminds us that this game is more than a game, and the beer is more than a beer itself. So just the pink accents on the can really allowed us to kind of play with the pink out game.
Right. Sure. So for from our perspective, we know you definitely, but for those out there who don't know you, kind of give the world a spiel about who you are, how you got into the circumstances with the Lager and all that type of great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So we've run the Infusion Brewing Company since 2012. We were actually up in the Sioux Falls for the BYU game last year.
Nice.
So Let It Fly was actually giving away free beers to Creighton fans after the game. So that's kind of where the whole idea kind of spewed from, really, at the end of the day.
Okay.
Tell me, Let It Fly Lager. What are the accents? What's the taste like? What kind of describe to people what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to produce a beer that was approachable to everyone, to the masses. You know, obviously a lot of people like their domestic style beers.
Right.
So we tried to play with that. And it's a constant kind of battle to get that in tune. We just want to make sure we're always putting that best product out there on the floor that we can provide.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, man, I gotta pound you real fast, man. Pause, because we was talking about Central, man. You're a Central grad, bro.
Oh yeah. You know, Fly Eagles.
Yeah, we stick together, man.
Yeah.
Your son, though.
Hey, eventually, I'm sure he'll learn whatever that thing was you were doing.
Yeah.
There. So let me ask you about this.
I hope that wasn't lost.
No, right?
Infusion Brewery. One of my favorite things that's happened in the last 10 years is what's happened with craft brewing. We saw it with wines when I was coming up, and now it's developed with beer. Why do you think it's become what it's become? Why do you think people are so into, and I mean all kinds, peanut butter, whatever else?
Yeah,
these types of
that's
crafts?
a great question. I mean, you saw it in different regions of the country much before it kind of reached the Midwest.
Oh, Denver was big.
Yeah, for sure. I just think people come more accustomed to trying new things, and they want to support local at the end of the day. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk hoops a little bit, man. We going into this pink out game tomorrow. We hopefully everybody get a can in their hand. If they're celebrating, toasting, and rooting for the Jays or whatever.
And tell
man.
people you can get the beer at Infusion Brewery.
Yeah, you can get it at all three of our locations.
Yeah, right.
And then as well as the Crescent Moon will be running a special on it for the game, and as long as supplies last, and then you can buy 6-packs in the Beertopia, which is our beer store connected to Crescent Moon.
And if you're in Sioux Falls, you can go to Let It Fly Bar.
Yep,
Fly.
They'll have that up there as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of getting to. Yeah, man. I feel like, just thinking about in light of the game coming up tomorrow and things like that, man, you're a Creighton fan. How long you been a Creighton fan, and what you think about our Jays now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a Creighton fan my entire life. I mean, that's kind of why this was kind of a pipe dream of mine to do something, with the avenue that I have.
For sure.
So my expectations and what I think about this team are the same expectations and what I thought about them preseason.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I still think they're that caliber of team to make a good run.
Yeah.
And we'll do a preview on the game and tell you how they've been recently and doing that.
Definitely.
What kind of things you got coming up at Infusion Brewery?
We have a Bean Fest. So our most popular beer, Vanilla Bean Blonde, will be.
I was picturing something like red beans and rice bean fest, or like a 3-bean salad, or
a little potluck
That's what I was
action.
expecting.
You're a Saints
I was
fan,
thinking
man.
food. I was not
Yeah,
thinking.
right.
Okay, so vanilla bean, right? Okay.
Yeah, so we just do different variations of that. It's one of our biggest festivals throughout the year, but
Nice.
that's probably the most upcoming event we got going on.
You guys have
there.
the growlers people can come in and fill up? Do you do
Yep,
that stuff?
yeah, we got growlers, a heck of a deal on them too, and
Uh-huh.
we also do the crowlers too, the big cans.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Get them
All right.
seamed right there in front of you.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. So where do you sit at the games? You've been a Creighton fan your whole life. Where do you sit at?
Well, pretty much when I was on my Pops season tickets, we was up in the Upper Bowl.
Okay.
This year, I got the cheapest tickets I could buy.
Yeah.
And I'm posted up at the Bud Bar every game.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure,
So
man.
that's a party right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about as far as like the growth of just the talent that we're in? Used to be in the Missouri Valley. Now we're in the Big East now or whatever. Who's your favorite player on the team now? Like, who do you feel like is that X factor that you're like, guys, we need that? I'm just curious.
Making you pick a favorite.
Yeah, you're
It's like
putting me
having
on
a
the
favorite.
spot.
No, I mean, but it's cool. Remember, bro, I say this to everybody. It's just me and you.
Just
here,
say
man.
Josh Jones every time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Every year, Josh Jones.
Yeah,
So no
right.
matter what's
Yeah,
going
because
on.
I mean, for me, like I hear a lot of people talk about their opinions on the games and who could have did what and put this guy in, da. Like, who's that guy for you that you feel like really keeps the Jays together and get them going?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think when Arthur's out there really giving that 110% like we've seen probably the last 8 games, I think that really gets the rest of the squad fired up.
Yeah, for sure. And he actually did that. Like you said, we're going to cover it. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he brought that out, the first game, the first half. Last game, in the shows. All right, I just want to make sure
he knows, obviously. Yeah,
he knows.
Infusion Brewery, again, give us your 3 locations and what's going on again, how people can get the beer.
Yeah. So come and grab our Pink Out limited edition, very, very limited edition can. Any of our 3 locations in Benson, out here in kind of southwest Omaha on 118th and Harrison, and then downtown Little Bohemia on 13th Street.
Nice. Yep. I'm so glad that area is coming up the way it is.
When
Bohemian Cafe closed, I was worried that area was going to die off. I'm glad the P.J. Morgan folks went over there and bought the land. And
they redid the Sokol Auditorium up there and everything.
It's called the Admiral.
It's pretty cool. I'm glad about that because Little Bohemia needs that. I mean, that's one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city.
Yep.
They've always had great food. You got the ethnic food sandwich shop. So I love that area. I'm glad it's coming along.
Yeah, for sure.
Ryan, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thank you,
bro.
man.
Yeah, for sure. We'll connect, man.
The,
Definitely. Thanks for coming on, man.
Good luck with the special edition can.
Yeah, it is limited edition because these 4 right here.
Are they going home with you?
Yeah, they're coming with me.
This is a Let It Fly lager. Yeah. I believe anybody who wants it can have it. It doesn't necessarily have to go home with you. I'm just going to put it out there. Anybody else can have it. That's fine.
Right.
We're gonna be chatting with, coming up in a couple of minutes, we're going to chat with Coach's wife, of course.
Yep.
More importantly, the mom of Doug McDermott. Because that's where I always tell people, you're somebody until your kid becomes somebody.
Amen.
And you go from being this person to being that person's dad or that person's mom. And that's what she is. She's Doug McDermott's mom, of course. And she is the creator, really, of this Pink Out game. Back when they were at Iowa State, of course, she's a survivor of breast cancer, came up with this idea. And it really is a great idea because then you sell the jerseys off.
100%.
They make money from that. Then that gets donated to whatever the charity is this year.
It's a good cause, man.
Yeah. It's a great deal.
Great cause. I'm excited for it for sure.
Today they had, this is on Friday we were taping, the Hope Lodge did their radiothon. And it was really cool, raising money. And also they were bringing paper products in as well. And if you've ever had a sick child or suffered from anything and you have to go someplace for a long time, places like Hope Lodge are why they're there for you, for the people who are traveling. Yep. All right, let's be joined now by the creator of the Pink Out game, Theresa McDermott, joining us here on the Let It Fly show. Theresa, how you doing? Theresa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for coming on with us.
No problem.
So tell me, how did you originally come up with the idea of having a game like this and doing it for a charity and having the uniforms and all that stuff?
So it actually started when I was diagnosed in 2005. I was 40 years old and was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we were trying to keep it a little bit on the down low for personal reasons. And it leaked a little bit, and so with Greg's position, he went ahead and kind of advertised it as a preventative, like to have people come in early detection, and we spun it that way, made sure like people knew I was going to be okay, but maybe get other women to go in, have their mammograms. And that year, people started sending flowers and cards, and we're like, well, I don't really want that, but how about let's, in lieu of that, make a donation the American Cancer Society. And that just took off. This is when we were at University of Northern Iowa. And then we took it a step further and had a Pink Out game and have everybody wear pink. And the money we raised, then we presented that check at halftime of that game. And that was, like I said, in 2005. That's how it started.
Okay. Hey, Tree, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Josh here. I'm glad to have you on. You mentioned about being okay. Just from your perspective, actually going through it, what was your support system like when you were going through that time? Like, obviously, we understand how Coach Mack is very charismatic, and also your husband and, your family and things. But what was support like outside of, everyone inside your home?
Well, like I said, I was only 40, so Sydney was only 5 years old. The boys were in junior high. Life kind of went on as usual. My mom would come up on the weekends of my chemo treatments and help with the kids. then you start turning the corner, feeling better. And we just did that like every other week. I had a girl in college, a college girl that came in and helped me with SPID. And everybody just around me, like coaches' wives, boosters, would drop off meals and do that kind of thing, offer rides for the kids. We just had a really, really good community support.
Theresa McDermott joining us, of course. Doug McDermott's mom, which is, I said earlier, that's the big thing. Coach's wife, breast cancer survivor, joining us here on Let It Fly show. Did you have any idea that it would get as big as it has? Have the kind of longevity it's had, the Pink Out game?
No, not at the time. After we left the University of Northern Iowa to go to Iowa State. We brought the whole idea with us. They embraced it. We did it there for 5 years. And then we came to Omaha, Creighton, and the marketing staff, they loved the idea. And then with Methodist Hospital and CHI Health Center behind it as well, and their sponsorship, it's just been blowing up like such a great, great event. All the t-shirts and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to thank you. I was telling Michael a bit earlier that the swag for those games, for me, I loved it because it was something different, and I always tried to be different. And the way I looked in the jersey, I got to thank you now.
Right. And that was kind of an idea after we got to Creighton. Deb Seaton at American Cancer Society, we sat down with her, how could we even make it bigger and better? And then they came up with this idea, and Nike was all on board, donating those uniforms, the pink shoes, and then the auction idea was between Greg and our marketing staff. How could we maybe turn around and, put the names on the jerseys? Everything kind of progressed. Not all of that happened at once, but over the years, we just tried to make it better and better.
Theresa, folks here, of course, in Omaha, that are suffering from cancer, they're blessed that there's so many great hospitals here in their town, but there are a lot of places people have to travel. Can you talk about what Hope Lodge, Nebraska means for those people who are having to come in for a week, 2 weeks, a month for get treatment?
Well, that's exactly right. So Hope Lodge was a concept with American Cancer Society for people that don't live here. So if you live here, you're not eligible, but if you live a certain mile radius, you need to come in for treatment. It's a free place to stay. Now, it is not for children. It's for adults. They do have to also bring a care provider with them. But it's amazing. It's like a luxurious hotel. They have their own little area in the kitchen. It's just really, really great for the people that have to come in because they don't have a home here and they need the treatment in a bigger city.
Okay, yeah, my thought, just on top of the whole treatment process and things, not trying to get too deep into, your actual trials and just those moments and experiences at that time. But for me, what was the biggest thing that you feel like you learned about yourself or revelation that you had from your cancer experience?
I think just like take a day at a time. You learn to just kind of pray, let me just get through this and get my daughter through high school. And then you get through high school, you're like, okay, now I'd like to see my daughter get married. And you keep pushing kind of the envelope. But I think you just appreciate life a little bit more. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about, Josh. You obviously have been through a lot.
Yeah.
And you just have a different perspective on things.
Yeah.
Theresa, a big part of this is, of course, education as well, encouraging those early screenings, getting the mammograms, also encouraging companies and insurance companies to have women visits and have that every year, twice a year, so that women can actually afford to find out and make sure that they're doing okay.
Well, and not only that, but any kind of cancer. I know, Pink Out seems like just breast cancer, but we're promoting early detection for any type of cancer, prostate. There's so many, colon, do your colonoscopy. Just everybody just needs to be their own advocate, and when they're eligible with insurance, get those tests done.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, that hits home. My mom, but my mom had passed away of colon cancer in 2018. So I always get excited about this game specific. And some of the greatest moments and memories and photos that I have in my house and some of the greatest times just come from Imagine can you imagine having 18,000 people in the stadium, and all of a sudden you only hear your mom?
That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
And so for me, just this pink out game brings those nostalgic moments from my collegiate and actually athletic career. And I really personally just want to thank you. I feel like I've been around you a lot, but I've never thanked you for just leading this and being so strong as an individual to persevere through having cancer. Just on behalf of someone who can relate to what you've been through.
Sure, no problem. You're welcome. It's like I said, there's a lot of people behind the scenes, a lot of people, and Creighton, the staff at Creighton, and the former staff, the former marketing staff, the current athletic staff, they just do an incredible job.
Theresa McDermott, of course, as I said, Doug's mom, coach's wife, and breast cancer survivor joining us here. Theresa, we have one last question, because obviously, you want the best for your kids. When Greg gets the job here at Creighton and Doug decides to follow him, did you feel good about that decision? Were you nervous? What was that feeling like when he made the decision to come to Creighton?
I mean, obviously, it was exciting that they could play and coach together, but absolutely, it was. Now you only have a husband if you lose a game, but now also your son, and it's kind of double whammy.
Yeah, son coming home crying.
Yeah, the wins are extra special too. So it was definitely a balancing act.
That's awesome. Theresa, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time and coming on with us.
We appreciate you.
You're welcome, guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, Theresa McDermott. So tomorrow, she says, taping here on Friday. Of course, the game tomorrow morning against number 13, Xavier. And so you're not the only player I've heard, a former player, said how important that game was to him. And the energy in the arena.
It hit different, bro, for real. I mean, like, the thing I like about Omaha in general and the Creighton fans, the Creighton fans can get behind things that are near and dear to heart. Mm-hmm. And it's something about that Creighton game, either you've been through it yourself or somebody who went through it, and you just rally that much louder or harder. It's going to be rocking in the arena tomorrow.
Yeah. As she said, it's not just breast cancer, it's all forms of cancer. The thing that always gets to me when I'm watching that game is John Bishop does radio games.
Yep.
You know John.
Yep.
And 10 years ago, this summer, his son was diagnosed with leukemia. Mm-hmm. And I remember that, working with him, and remember when that happened. And every game, they have that sign, and John stands up and has his son's name on it, his Christian's name on it. And every time, that gets to me, because I remember what his family went through and what they went through, man. And he's good now, and he's great, and they're all good. But, man, when that happens, when everybody stands up with their signs, that's hard.
Aside from, before I actually tell one story about my experience of dealing with cancer surviving families, when Tree mentioned about dealing with the stress of my husband coming home after a bad game.
Right.
I remember some practices where Mac got at Doug crazy.
He got to.
And I'm thinking, like, I know he going to go home and tell his mama this.
You got to do that, though. It
was crazy. But that's why I respect Mac, because, he know, look, I'm coach when it's time to coach, and I'm dad when it's time to be dad.
Well, the last thing you could possibly do is to treat Doug differently. It'd be like Ryan teaching his nephew differently, right?
I feel worse because
you can't do that.
He did his son worse than he did me. He used to yell at me a lot. He did his son in.
Well, you know what? It worked.
It paid off.
He did fine.
Right.
He did fine.
Yeah.
We mentioned the game tomorrow. Number 13, Xavier coming to town. Jay's been great at home. 9-1, and man, we talked about this when Ryan Kalkbrenner was on with us last week. The difference he's made since he's been back. But look, so some of the numbers that was put up. Matt DeMarinis, you know him, Blue and White Review.
Yeah.
Since Ryan Kalkbrenner's been back in the lineup, he came back December 22nd, 8 games. Mm-hmm. In the Big East, they are first in 2-point defense.
Yep.
Second in 2-point offense.
Yep.
Only Marquette's ahead of them. They are second in 3-point offense, only behind Xavier, who they meet tomorrow.
Yep.
And then fourth in 3-point defense behind Providence. Who are they behind? Providence and Seton Hall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he makes all the difference on both sides of the court.
100%.
We talked about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where, in terms of tomorrow, I mean, you might see 104 to 160. I mean, both of these teams score a lot offensively.
They're both in the top 30 in scoring efficiency.
And the thing is, remember when we first start, doing our take on the Jays, all the identity, I mean, not to try to be, no pun intended, but let it fly. Yeah. And that's the identity.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I feel like the team has gotten really great at just building on other areas, to try to make them stay afloat because everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And when you think about it, Creighton, they actually did not shoot well from the three-point line in that last game.
St. John's, yeah.
But from the field, they were 56%.
That's pretty good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty good.
They got whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted, however they wanted.
That's the best they played all year, right?
Oh, my God. And what's crazy is I feel like, sometimes you hear something like, man, I feel like I heard that before. We've said that 3 times.
Yeah.
They only getting better.
They're getting better. Yep.
I respect Ryan, for coming on here and saying, like, hey, I'm rolling with them. They still look like that.
Yeah.
And I agree.
And he was right about Kaluma, the way he's played. Xavier's shooting 50% from the floor. That's pretty good, right?
I'm telling you.
They're 40% from 3.
Be a good one.
That's pretty good. Obviously, last time they played, it was a great game. It was a 3-point game against Xavier. Here's a crazy stat from Rob Anderson.
Rob knows everything.
Rob digs deeper than any man who doesn't live in Texas and looks for
before
oil.
you read that stat, Rob's it's going to be something like this. Rob's the type of guy to say that every game that Josh Jones checks in at this time, Creighton wins by 2. Something that only Rob can tell you.
Tomorrow is the 45th anniversary of the only other time that Creighton has played a team ranked exactly 13th.
Yeah.
They beat Larry Bird's Indiana State team, was number 13 back in 1978. They won that game 72-64. The 45th anniversary of that game is Saturday.
Man.
Rob just digs and finds stats like that. That's incredible.
Right.
It's a 4-point Creighton, as of this morning, when I saw the first number, we're 4-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, this...
Are you picking?
Man,
Jays,
we got to roll with the Jays to bounce back.
Yeah.
But I think when I'm just as a basketball fan, just as the heightened moment of the pink out game, just everything, the stakes that we're at, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be running and gunning for sure.
It's going to be fun.
But I hope it's not everything opposite of what we anticipate, man. We got to have
a whole bunch of missed shots. 54, 50.
It goes like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes predictions don't go right. Next week, next Wednesday is signing day for for high school seniors that are coming out, of course. Nebraska has done pretty well. We've gone over some of the numbers.
Getting better.
But since the last time we talked, they've added 3 more guys, 2 of which from the same high school in Texas, who coach with the tight ends coach. Ismail Smith-Flores, he's the tight end kid, 6'5", 210.
Yeah.
I watched his video about a month ago when they first started talking about maybe he was a guy that was going to come to Nebraska. This is not an exaggeration. The kid looks like an NFL tight end. I'm not joking. He's only 210 because he was a wide receiver. He's transitioning to tight end.
Yeah.
But if you look at the length of that kid's arms, watch him go up and get the ball. I'm talking Tony Gonzalez looking type of ball player.
Travis Kelce.
And those guys are special. Obviously, they're both Hall of Famers.
Right, but you're talking about by
his body
stature.
look, the way he looks.
I feel you.
He looks like a college level and maybe eventually a pro level tight end. Watching him, and then they brought in Jeremiah Charles and also Demetrius Bell. Both those guys are over 6 foot tall wide receivers. They brought in now with transfers 8 new wide receivers.
Man.
Well, 2 of them are guys returning.
Yeah.
Right, but still 8 guys. What about turning around one position group?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean, to me, it sounds like Matt Rule is trying to win now, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because he was on Bussin' with the Boys, right? He was on that podcast, and they were asking about the slow burn of what happened at Temple and then the slow burn of what happened at Baylor and how he thought that's what's going to happen at Carolina in the NFL. There's not a lot of chance for slow burn here, right?
It's not, and he knows that.
Yeah.
And to me, the vibes that I get is kind of like that's not even pressure to him. It's like he's putting in the work that he is supposed to do, and making the moves and the plays that he's trying to do in building. But at the closer he gets to that spring training and all that stuff, I think he's trying to win.
Trev Alberts was on, and he was talking about how I know you got to win games.
Yeah,
obviously, but right now, the work ethic he's seen from the coaches, the work ethic he's seen from Matt Rule.
Yep.
He feels like they're already winning. They're winning this part of the game.
Yeah.
You know.
I got to throw this out there to you.
Okay.
Is it the second game of the season? Should I say no more?
What? I mean, so I asked this. Question.
I got that on the marked on my calendar.
I asked this question, and we're going. We're going to Colorado. We already got our hotel rooms all sold out. We already got it.
Come on.
Here's the question I asked this morning. If you could pick winning just one of those two games, do you pick the opening game, which obviously is a conference game, a divisional game against Minnesota?
That's a great question.
Or do you pick going to Colorado, beating your old Big 8, Big 12 rival, and of course now coached by Prime?
I know.
So which one would you pick?
Well, I'll look at it in two ways, and I'm not going to try to be long-winded.
That's right.
Initially, my first answer is I want to win that first game. I mean, that first game
the
that
game
we
against
played.
Minnesota, right?
Yeah, that's my first answer.
Mm-hmm.
But my second answer, alternatively, is that Colorado game is the more supposed to must-win game for the fact of the hype of what Coach Prime is putting around the talent.
Yeah,
he said he want to win now.
I know.
I mean, the whole nation listened to that "I'm coming" speech. You follow up and you get all these different bits on it. You know, he has social media king.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you see all the things that he's doing, the energy that he's putting into that. I'm expecting that same energy when they play. Mm-hmm. I just think for the magnitude, for Coach Rule to be new, Coach Prime to be new.
Yeah.
I think, man, I'm kind of torn, bro.
Man,
I don't know.
There's one answer. There's one answer. It's beating Minnesota.
Yeah.
So the opening game let's go back to Mike Riley.
Yeah.
Remember his opening game? BYU, you lose on a Hail Mary.
I know, yeah.
The opening game for Scott Frost rained out.
Let me snap back.
Never got going.
This is the opening trying to get hype as a sports fan.
You have to beat Minnesota.
You're right.
They're in the West.
That's why I said my first answer.
You got to beat Minnesota.
That's why I said my first answer.
This proves right here that Nebraska fans will live in the past unlike anybody else. 67%.
Yeah.
We have 3,800 people voted.
This is a real poll,
3,800 people voted on Twitter. 67% said the Buffaloes.
Man.
That makes no sense. I know you hate Colorado.
Yeah.
I know you hate Darian Hagan.
Yeah.
I know you hate Coach Mack. I get all of that.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that. We're in the Big Ten now.
Yeah.
You got to win the West.
Look, I'm one of these guys. Like, I feel both of y'all. You know, I feel.
That's good. Good people on both sides.
Yeah.
No. There's one answer. There's one answer.
It's gonna be fun, man.
It would be like thinking about Creighton, right? I know they play a lot more games, but
for sure.
Is the game more important beating UConn or beating Arizona?
Yeah, it makes
sense.
sense.
You lose to Arizona, they're a ranked team, everything that's great, but you got to beat UConn.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's what needs to happen here,
Yeah,
and I'm surprised that it's been 2/3 of the people are saying Colorado.
Yeah, right. And I'm telling you, after these two games, that's when I feel like, depending on how Nebraska does in those two games, they'll look back and say what we just said initially. You got to win that first game.
I tell you this.
Because Coach Prime going to move on.
Either way, they go 2-0, they go 0-2, they go 1-1.
Yeah.
None of them would surprise me.
Yeah. Sure.
None of them would shock me. They went 0-2, I'd be like, I'm not surprised.
It's 51st days for me.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this.
If you haven't seen the movie, the woman has short-term
memory.
So, yeah.
You know, like
right.
I mean, I don't even know where I got that phrase from, but it's probably just
it's a new thing every day.
Yeah, man.
I get it.
And for me, I'm just curious. What do you think about? What do you think? I mean, the hype is real.
Oh yeah, for both sides.
But will Colorado be like that? Will they be that good?
I think that his kid can ball.
Yep.
And yes, he played at a lower level.
Yep.
But when he played at Jackson State, they won a ton of games.
For sure.
I know Coach Prime is bringing in both the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator that know what they're doing.
Yep.
He's putting a lot of talent around them. They're going to be good in the set. I guarantee you this.
Yeah.
They will play good pass defense.
Man.
Coach Prime will have a team that plays good pass defense. His corners will be ready. I know that for a fact. Will Nebraska be able to run the ball on them? Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I saw their defensive line last year, and he's not changing that much over to where he's that much better in defensive line. I think Nebraska will be able to run the ball on them. I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska blew them out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they lost by 14.
Yeah, I just don't want Coach Prime, and it's not because of the hype.
Yeah.
I just feel like as a leader, as a coach, I don't want him to step into this Division I coaching opportunity, and like just bomb.
You want to see him do well.
Yeah, and the reason why is because I don't want people to say, "Oh, he was only." Like,
I know.
No shade to Scott Frost.
Yeah,
but they were undefeated at UCF.
That's right.
He came to Nebraska and then he didn't win. He won in 4 years or whatever that record was. But I'm just saying, Coach Prime.
I think he was 16-31. Something like that.
Yeah, that's like 2 in 4 years.
It's not good.
Yeah,
not good.
But you know what I'm saying? I feel like obviously there's a lot of people that want you to win and want you to lose.
Oh, sure.
But I think as a coach, I hope that he can sustain himself at that high level.
Yeah, you don't want to see him bomb.
It's
I get
elite.
that. It is. It's a big jump. You're going to a place that Colorado's in the Pac-12, which is an ugly conference.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to lose
It's grimy,
USC
man.
and get ready to use UCLA.
Right.
You're in a place in Boulder where they really don't care a ton about football.
Right.
Last time Nebraska was there,
yes,
there were about 5,000 Colorado fans,
remember,
and there were about 40,000 Nebraska fans.
Wasn't it like 62 to something? Like when Colorado did Nebraska,
when Nebraska
like that?
Yeah, 62-36.
Man, I was in the kitchen washing dishes because I was in trouble. That's how
how bad it was.
Yeah,
well, the last time we were there a couple years ago, I remember sitting up in the press box, and Colorado was getting ready to bring out, the Buffaloes and run around, right?
Yeah.
And so getting ready to, and everything's set up. And they're doing their Buffalo chant.
Yep.
Colorado, Buffaloes. And Nebraska fans started doing Husker power. And it completely took over the stadium.
Wow.
You couldn't even hear the chant for Colorado. And I know they felt bad. So their AD has already come out and saying, don't sell your tickets to Nebraska fans, which they still will.
Right.
Because, again, they live in Colorado.
Exactly.
They got other stuff to do.
Exactly.
And Nebraska fans will pay.
Right.
And so, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
If you were going to ask me today, I think they split them. And I don't know which combination it is. Most likely, it's beating Colorado because I think Colorado's going to struggle early in the season.
For sure.
So
from a real standpoint, I think you're right.
Yeah. This weekend, I know you're excited for the NFC and AFC championship games.
Yeah.
It's probably the most competitive games we've had. Now, you can go back. 1998 is the last time we had the AFC game and the NFC game, and the line was 3 or under in both games.
Yeah, I know.
So we haven't had this kind of matchup both games in that many years.
Some notes that I put.
All right, give me some notes.
Let's talk about the AFC first.
You want to do that first?
You're talking about the line.
Yeah.
The favorite has went from 2.5, -1.5.
Oh, yeah.
And now -1.
Yeah, Kansas City's now favored.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's
we didn't know if Patrick Mahomes could walk.
But
and then he went to practice and he kind of danced around a little bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't even the practice. It was what he said in the press conference.
Walking up to the press conference too. Yeah,
Yep.
Listen, let me tell you this. I heard a great line.
Yeah,
being healthy is not binary.
Yeah, that's
binary
true.
is what? It's just either one or the other. It's black or white.
Exactly.
X's and O's.
Exactly.
Right? You may be fine at the beginning of the game.
Man.
You know what happens in football?
Yeah.
You get hit.
Exactly.
So just because he's healthy at the beginning doesn't mean he's going to be healthy in the middle.
I said that to myself. I don't want it to be a situation where the Bengals are doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, those basketball players or airball start looking at their hand. I don't want Patrick Mahomes
start looking at the ankle.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game.
If you're going to play, you're going to play.
I mentioned the last time we had an AFC game that was this low a number was Denver at Pittsburgh in 1998. We got a great game that time, and the last time in the NFC, the Giants and Niners in 2012 was the last time we had this low a number.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I'm excited about it. Here's some numbers for you. Favorites in conference championship games. Team favored. 26-12 straight up.
Oh, wow.
But only 20-18 against the spread in the last 20 years.
Oh, well, okay.
So, not necessarily the number.
Yeah.
Number one seeds. This is contradictory. So the favorite you'd think would be number one seed. In the last 20 years, 35% against the spread for the number one seed. So that means 65% of the time they're not covering.
I'm just thinking about
that. They're not covering the number one seeds. You got the 5th rookie quarterback to ever start a conference championship game.
Yeah.
Right? The other 4 did not win. Only one of them, by the way, kept it within one score game.
But speaking about the quarterbacks, to me, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
But the thing is, Brock Purdy has played so well.
He has.
That, and I don't know what, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to the team. But if he continues to play that well.
Yeah.
Excuse me, not Brock Purdy, but Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's played incredible.
Yeah, I said Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy been playing well too.
He has.
But
7-8-0, yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I think the Bengals is going to win.
Do you?
I think so.
So you picking? So obviously they're right now an underdog. They're a 1-point underdog.
Yes.
You think they go to Kansas City?
Yes.
And play Patrick Mahomes?
I think so.
Who's only lost once in this situation in his entire career?
Now watch this. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying. And you think that Cincinnati is going to beat them for the 4th time in a row?
Now,
4 times in a row. Patrick Mahomes is going to lose to the same team 4 times in a row. That's your feel?
you remember LeBron James was sitting with headphones in his ears and shades over his eyes, and he said that the Cavs are down 3-1 to the Warriors.
They were down 3-1 to the Warriors.
Who was 2016 champions?
If it wasn't for the fact that they kicked your boy out for kicking LeBron, that never happens.
It
never happens.
I say that inversely to say this.
All right.
Joe Burrow is just that good.
Joe Burrow is a dog.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
He's just
take out his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
Where nobody's really good as a rookie year quarterback normally, except for Brock Purdy, apparently.
Yeah.
Take that out.
Right.
Dude's only lost 3 games.
Yeah. No,
Since
exactly.
going back to his senior year at LSU.
Exactly. And
he's ridiculous.
And you said it. Joe Burrow has beat Patrick Mahomes 3 times.
In a row. Yep.
In a row.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the weather, I think I was looking at the forecast.
It's be windy.
You know?
Be a little windy,
I just kind of feel like with any conditions, I think this team is ready to play.
Here's that number for Joe Burrow versus good teams with winning records. Mm-hmm. Okay? Since he's been last 2 seasons, he's 15-3 straight up.
Man.
He's 7-0 on the road.
Man.
I'm with you with Cincinnati only because I hate the Chiefs.
Oh, man. See, that ain't me.
I hate the Chiefs. I cheer against the Chiefs. That's how I'm on that side.
I can see you saying that.
I'm anti-Chiefs.
Because Nebraska as a state is almost like
it's their fans, bro.
Yeah,
it's their fans. Have you been to a game there?
Man, listen,
horrible.
they're honorary
not nice.
Kansas City Chiefs fans.
They are.
I mean,
they're not nice.
I remember the days when there was Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, all that, Tony Gonzalez.
I've been to the Vet. All right. I've been to Alameda. I've been to some of the worst stadiums in America. And you never treated as bad as I was in Kansas City. Never that bad. Never that bad.
So the NFC, though.
Sure thing. Real quick, one more thing about if you're thinking about the number, under or over, right? Ronald Torbert, who is the referee in this game. In the last 3 years, in the games that he has been the main referee, the white hat, 33, 16-1 to the under. Yeah, so over 60%. To the under for Ronald Torbert. It's the way he calls games. He lets teams play.
Right.
A lot of times lets defenses play. And so if you're thinking that way, it could certainly be an under. That number, by the way, is 48 for the total. That's where it is right now.
Yeah, he wasn't the lead official when remember when your Saints.
No, he wasn't. No,
okay,
no, he wasn't for that.
The pass interference.
That wasn't even pass interference. That was, and I don't complain about the referees.
You remember what I'm talking about.
That was targeting, and it was pass interference. Yeah, no, Saints went to the Super Bowl. I'll never forget that. And then let's go over to the NFC. What do you think? Niners, Eagles.
You know what? I'm just looking for a good game with that. Like some of the things I put down, I just think it comes down to the best quarterback wins. And I accidentally said Brock Purdy talking about Joe Burrow. But Brock has been playing so well, man, that honestly, like, if he just plays that great against the Eagles, I think they win too.
Here's the thing: is he doesn't have to be great in that system.
No, because Kyle Shanahan is a great coach.
You go back to when the Niners had the last time they were in this situation, they threw the ball 8 times. Dang. Jimmy G. They ran the ball 38 against Kansas City's defense. Against Philadelphia's defense. You can't throw against them.
Right.
They're number 1 DVOA in all of football, past DVOA.
For sure.
But you can run against them.
Right.
And so I imagine they're going to line up and they're going to run it with everybody. Eli's going to run it.
Right.
McCaffrey's going to run it. They're going to run it with everybody.
You're right, man.
So,
and the thing is, on the flip side with the Eagles, you got Jalen Hurts. Don't he got almost 800 yards running himself?
Over 700 yards rushing. Only the 3rd quarterback ever in a conference championship game that had a season where
he's playing at an MVP level.
He is.
But I just think the Niners are a better team.
So you're taking, in the Super Bowl, you've got San Francisco versus Cincinnati.
Yeah.
By the way, the TV people are like, no thank you.
That's cool. And then they're going to go back to this clip, TV
people are like, no, I don't know about that. This is a small market action.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Sometimes, whenever you, get optimistic about, what I'm talking about, just with the Bengals and the Niners, it does make for, it could make for a boring Super Bowl because of the anticipation of a great quarterback like Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I'm just trying to, not really focus on a player and focus on the team.
Okay. Well, last week, old Phil sucker punched me by putting some predictions out there on Twitter that I had said during it. And I wasn't really prepared for all that. I got predictions prepared. Now, if you want to put out some predictions this time, because the 2 games I picked right, you didn't put those out. You did 2 that I picked wrong, which is mean. That's why you're wearing that suit going to your funeral.
Exactly.
Let me say this. Niners, Eagles, I like the under 46.5. These are my official picks. If you want the ones you got to pay for, you got to call me.
Yep.
Quez Watkins.
Yep.
Wide receiver for the Eagles. I got him under 16.5 yards.
Okay.
You can get that over at the casino or wherever you bet legally.
Yep.
Cincinnati, second half line, whatever it is. Cincinnati will outscore Kansas City in the second half. I'm telling you right now. Mahomes, over passing yards. I think he's going to stand in the pocket. He's going to throw the ball around. I think he's going to have a good day. He won't be able to run around much, but doing that. I also like Joe Burrow over his rushing yards. I like Samaje Perine over 15.5 receiving yards. I think Mixon's going to be on the ground and Perine in the air. Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown. You can get that at plus 120 right now. I just was over there. You can get it over there, over 65 yards as well. I like that bet. And then then George Kittle, anytime touchdown. I like that one as well. Those are my official Phil picks. In case you want to be putting them out there again and trying to put me on blast, as the children say.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be one of the best ones
for sure
that we've had in a long time. I don't think there'll be a blowout. I don't think so.
No. Listen, the last 2 years of playoff football have been elite.
They have been great.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And I just got this vivid memory of the Bengals balling until they fall.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but this weekend, I think they get it done.
I'm with you in a way. I just cannot – it's hard for me to believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to lose 4 times in a row to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay? This is a team that no one can pronounce their damn name. The Bengals, the Bengals. It's a Bengal tiger.
Right.
Not a Bengal.
Wait,
a Bengal hangs off your ear.
Wait. So do you say like Caribbean or Caribbean?
Depends on what song I'm singing.
It's Bengals.
Am I singing Caribbean Queen?
It's Bengals.
Or am I singing Caribbean? It depends on what you're talking about. It's like a route. It's like a route or a route.
Yeah, right.
You know, it depends on where you're going.
But where do you go? Do you go routes or routes?
It depends on. You have a route 66. I'm going on this route.
Man, I'm going routes.
That's how it works.
I'm running routes, bro.
That's a different thing. That's a football term. Yeah, that's different.
This is funny, man.
Yeah, just say Bengals, not the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals is a group.
Yeah, I'm gonna put. What
was that lead singer for the Bengals? What was the lead singer?
He don't know because he likes the
radio
Bengals.
Guy. Oh,
I mean, if you like the Bengals, then you would know about the Bengals.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Oh man,
come on, man. I know I'm old. But damn. We want to thank everybody here at Hail Varsity Club as always. Our producer Pat Safford, Chris Gorman, who's in charge of this whole thing. Big Al Lopez. Look how he comes in his turtleneck.
I told you, the Godfather, man.
Just money, just coming like this. Coach as well, Ryan's here as well.
My guy Phil.
Omaha Steaks. Thanks to all of them. Phil, he will sucker punch you with a cut and a heartbeat. Thanks to Omaha Steaks. Ryan as well. We appreciate Coach's wife, Theresa McDermott, for coming on as well. Reminder, we're back again. It's going to be on the 31st of January. Special guest.
Yep.
Very special guest. Setting it up right now.
Who we got?
I can't give it all away.
All right, I feel you.
I'd say there are a couple of Hall of Famers and probably one guy who won a Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
I'm saying right now. Josh, as always, take us away.
Hey, this is Josh Jones with my man Michael Xavier. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.